Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Nancy here at Star and Flurry. It's been a while, and I feel like I need to apologize for that. It's just been kind of nutty here where I well, I mean, let my hair be an example. Oh my God, look at this. I have this new my hair has always been an issue. Um, and so I got this new oh, what do you call it? Mousse or whatever to try. Yeah, that was a bust. So and this is the this look at these little oh my God, what's going on here? Plus it's just too long. But the weather here has been so crappy that I can't even get out. So I'm not even gonna talk about it. So cheers, happy new year. I'm sorry I've been so absent. It's just been crazy. We had over a 4 or 5 day period had about 2 feet of snow, which required a lot of snow blowing and this and that. Now my neighbors helped me out quite a bit with that, but when it's an amount that I can deal with, I do that as well. I live on the corner, so I mean, if you think about it, like how can I? So I live on a corner, so I have this sidewalk and this sidewalk to care for. My neighbors next door just have the sidewalk in front of them. The difference being is that I have like a Tinker Toy snowblower, and he has the industrial strength John Deere with gears and four-wheel drive and all that. So when it gets really, really hectic and crazy and a lot of snow, he takes care of it. And then, so he did that God, 3 times in one day. It was coming down so hard. It was so bizarre. It's like 2 degrees and flakes like this. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was because usually when it gets that cold, you just see the powdery stuff. It doesn't pile up that much, and it's easy to blow. You can almost blow it away with a snowblower, with a sorry, not a snowblower, a leaf blower. You know, just blow it out. This was not that. It wasn't super wet. It was very fluffy. It was just big, so it piled up quickly. Anyways, he did them the big day that we had the major snowfall. He did 3 passes, which was huge because when I came back, like the next morning, I had about 6 inches to blow through, and that I could handle. And so I got out there pretty early because I thought I got to get out there before he gets out there. And so I did this both sidewalk, did his sidewalks or my neighbor's sidewalk, husband and wife, dear friends, then my sidewalk, and then my long sidewalk of the on the corner. And then I went to do my driveway, and I ran into him while I was on my driveway, and he said, "Hey, don't worry, I'll get the sidewalks again." And I said, I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, I just got them." He's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." So we had a nice interchange there. It was really fun. I mean, I like helping out. I like snow blowing. For whatever reason, it soothes me. It's like yoga or whatever. Um, Even shoveling. I think I mentioned this in previous videos. I love shoveling. I know a lot of people don't, but for me, it's just oh, it's good to get out there and exercise your whole body out there doing that, and it's so cool to see the results fairly quickly. I was telling my neighbor the other day, I said, that's the joy of snowblowing is you know, you feel good afterward. It's not like you have to wait for weeks and months to feel your muscles because you get them in an hour. Good hearty snow shuffling or snow blowing or whatever it is. Anyways, cheers. I'm having a well deserved glass of wine because it's well deserved. I stuck on my tooth. It's just been a crazy kind of holiday season um, for myriad reasons. Um, but the ending of it, because I really wanted to hit up a good video here at the beginning of the year, not to talk about resolutions. I'm not into those or anything, but just to talk about life and this and that. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, we get, 2 feet of snow. And now today, this was so bizarre. Today, I mean, it was supposed to warm up, and that was the last. I am a weather person. I watch it, I watch everything, all of it. I feel very adept. I've been doing that since I was a campfire girl. And so a couple of days ago, it says it was supposed to get up into the, up to like 40 today. And after what we've had and the kind of the way that everything looked, I was like, good, good. Everything will melt. So I just didn't think about it. And then today I woke up and there was a winter weather advisory out, and my I have an Echo, which is kind of like a what is it, an Alexa, a mini Alexa, and it was kind of winter weather advisory. It has a hard time deciphering between mountains and, I mean, I'm in the mountains, but I'm I'm not the foothills or higher. I am kind of in the main range. And so a lot of time, though, weather advisories don't mean anything to me, and to where I live. So I didn't think much about it. We are a little bit higher than my city proper, but, maybe 400, 500 feet, which can make a huge difference on many occasions. But in this situation, I didn't think much of it. And so, because I knew it was warming up, so it's no big deal. It'd been steady 34, like forever, 34 degrees. Well, it had been down to two, not 3 days. I mean, 2 Fahrenheit, not 3 days ago. So 34 was like balmy, and I didn't think twice about it. It's like, good, we're going the right direction, no big deal. And I did in a weird. Every time I got up at night, if I had to pee or something, check it out. I have weather stations throughout my house. Check it out, 34, 33, 34, 35. I mean, it was just steady in that range. So I didn't think about it. So when I got up this morning and moved about my day, I didn't think anything about the winter weather advisory for freezing rain, because I was like, there's no way. It's 34 degrees. I'm not going to worry about it. And then I went out to get my mail, and coming from Portland and Seattle, where we get horrible freezing rainstorms, I started to walk out, which I have to go down, and it's not a steep driveway, but it's got a bit of a slant. But when there's ice involved, it suddenly becomes this huge pitch. And I walked out there and I was like, whoa. I mean, I had my grippy winter shoes on, but not my, oh, I don't even know what they're called now. The Yaks tracks, the ones that have the metal things you slip on your shoes and they give you a really good grip. They're not ice, whatever those things are that you climb out Everest in. Those are not them, but they have metal grips on them. They're like studded tires for your shoes. Um, I did not have those on, and I started to walk out, and I was like, oh, it just had that look of fine sheen, like a fine pebbled curling surface. And I was like, oh, this can't be good, especially going downhill. This is not good. So I went back inside into the garage and I put on my yak. I have heavy snow boots with yak tracks that I use when I'm shoveling. And then I have just a kind of a slip-in Merrill that I also have yak tracks for days like today. So I put those on and went out, and I was so thankful I did. It was just, I had no idea. It was cold, and it was cold, and I was like, "Wait a minute." I mean, after 2 degrees, 34 is very balmy. When I went out there, it was like, "Oh, this is not balmy anymore." And so when I got my mail, came back up and came inside, and for the first time in that afternoon, looked at my weather thing, and it said 27 degrees, and I'm like, "When did that happen?" And then, literally 2 hours later, it was 24. I mean, so it was going down and raining, not hard, but I would call it a medium. It was raining. It was raining, so it was freezing. Minute it rains, and then it hits the ground, and it turns to ice. And you can talk all you want about, oh, I'm for the Midwest, I'm fine, snow is no big deal, till you get the ice. And I had a friend ages ago who gave me that kind of shit. In fact, his flight was screwed up coming from wherever he was coming from because of the threat of ice storms. And he was from like Michigan. He was like, I don't know what you guys are having a problem with. What the heck? Anyways, he arrived on time. Everything was fine. He got to my house and everything was fine because it was like 35 degrees, no big deal. And then the next morning, I remember him. He slept on the couch. We weren't a couple. We were friends. I was in my bedroom. He was sleeping on the couch. He was sleeping on the guest bed, the couch. And I remember him knocking on my door, and he goes, "Hey, are you up?" And I wasn't really, but I kind of go, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "You need to come look at this." And I was like, "What am I looking at?" He goes, "You just need to come look." And so I got up and went out, and he opened the door, but it was like the Wizard of Oz door, it's just like this door of wah, and it was a freaking ice palace. It was so bizarre, and I'd seen it so many times in my childhood, and I'd seen it as a young adult. I hadn't seen it for a couple of years like that. He was stunned. He'd never seen anything like it. And I myself said, "Build a fire." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because we're going to lose power." Sure enough, but within an hour, lights all went out. Fortunately, we had a really good wood stove. We stayed quite warm and everything was fine. But I have a really, and I remember not as a kid so much, but as a young teenager going through some of these ice storms there, and where we got like, feet of, not feet, but like a foot of snow, 8 inches of snow, and then what they would call a silver thaw or a chinook. They used to call it that too, a chinook wind, which was which is a warm wind with a cold inversion. So this rain flowing through this cold inversion, and not quite freezing before it hit the ground. And we would get inches. I want to say inches, but it wasn't. It was like at worst 3/4 of an inch. But I mean, think about that: 3/4 of an inch on of water clinging to branches and trees. Street, you couldn't walk on this stuff. You couldn't. And branches were breaking right and left. Trees were falling over, taking up power lines. I mean, power lines with an inch of 3/4 of an inch of ice on them were just cracking and breaking. So the power was out everywhere, and it was freezing cold, and you couldn't drive anywhere. You couldn't walk anywhere. It was horrible, horrible. And I remember my brother last night, he said, "I think I'm having a little PTSD from the ice storms," which is kind of, I felt like I was not being fair to that term, but he wrote me back and he said, "Absolutely, I totally, it wrenches my gut when you say ice storm." So he went through it too. So we all remember that really clearly. I don't know why I went off that ramble. Sorry. Anyway, so it's just kind of been a tumultuous, couple of weeks here. And then of course Christmas was kind of nuts and crazy and wonderful. And I was sad that I wasn't able to be with my brother and his wife and my nephew who I never see. And I was sad about that, but we did a nice Zoom call and we had nice presents and open presents over Zoom, and that was fun. And we had a really good time. So moving forward, what was I going to say? So one of the things, just I have two things to talk about. One is I'm going to introduce anybody who needs some soft shuffling decks that aren't necessarily linen, because linen decks tend to carry also a price tag. So I've got a couple of soft shuffling decks that I think you might be interested in, that I've received recently, that I just love, and I wanted to turn you on to them. Then one deck that has just totally surprised me, which I got through a Kickstarter. So I'm going to share that one with you as well. And then what's the other thing? Soft shufflers. Oh, hello. I think I'm stalling because, or mind warping, because I don't really want to commit to this, but I kind of do. So I'm frustrated by the fact that I'm not more consistent here. I'm not trying to necessarily build a huge audience. That's not what this is about. But I do feel that for the folks that are here, thank you, by the way, is I want to be consistent. I mean, I guess, it might be interesting to be a surprise in your, sorry for the snort, in your, inbox or whatever when I show up. But I'd rather be more consistent, something that you can rely on for just a little bit of watching. And I will tell you that in my watching, my doldrums, because I always look forward to the weekends because I've got a couple of things that I do in the morning on Saturdays. And then I kind of have Saturday off. And then Sunday morning, I have Sunday morning. And then something on Sunday evening. But my doldrums fall in that Sunday afternoon category, where I really wish I had something to listen to. And if I was better at what I did, I would jump onto a live stream kind of situation because that would be fun. But I'm not. So we're not going there just yet. Maybe in the future. But so what I want to do in terms of consistency is try to produce a video of some either, and it may not always be tarot. It'll probably be always a revolving tarot because that's what my life is right now. But and then what I'm going to try to do is throughout the week kind of take notes and be mindful of things that inspire me, things that irritate me, because I know my rants. I think there's a few of you out there who love the rants, a rant or two or a story or two, because I love my stories. You know me, I love telling a story. Um, I've gathered up plenty in my 69 in February. Can you believe it? 69. Holy crap. I can't even believe it. Anyways, so in my 69 years, gathered up a few stories in my lifetime. Um, and then tarot, which is the new love of my life. And so we're going to try to do that on Sundays, and we're going to try to produce it out at publish it around 3 p.m. on Sundays. That's the goal. Don't hold me to it. And I can't guarantee that the first one's going to come out this next Sunday. It may be the following Sunday, but because I really was thinking this one should come out on Sunday, but I think I'll wait. Or maybe not. Maybe this one will come out on Sunday and then all futures will. So, anyways, we'll see. So that's where we're going with that. So, cheers. Wish me luck. I hope that I can be consistent with that. I really like this, but I also know that I think the one thing I loved about when I worked with clients and in terms of planning their events is that we always had an end date. There was an end date, their event date. And I loved working. I loved working towards that date, finalizing details towards that date, getting everything kind of, taking it from here and going, squeezing it into what it needed to be in that 2 or 3 or 4 hours of which it was occurring on a specific date. I really enjoyed what's the word? Finalizing of that. And then the actual, you know, the event itself. It was just, I just loved that part of it. So I'm kind of thinking maybe that this kind of Sunday push for a 3 p.m. Um, video will be an interesting goal for me to do. This is not a New Year's resolution. This is just something I've been thinking about for a while. So I'm so random in my posts. I really would like to get more structured. Only not because and really not because maybe you need it. I think it's I need it. I need to kind of organize my thoughts and get smart about it. So anyways, I don't think these will be all centered around tarot, but um or oracles or anything like that, but some pardon me, some may be. So we'll go from there. So wish me luck. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was some soft shuffling decks. And I may expand on this in my next Sunday if I can get my Sunday video out at 3 p.m. Wait, what's today? It is Thursday, Friday. Maybe not. We'll see. But this may be, oh, I always hate it when I lose this. Sorry, you guys see me, but I lose the screen and then I can't see me. And that's, anyways. So for people who are looking for soft shuffling decks, if you have hands that can't handle indie decks, or the smaller decks that are too thick to shuffle, I have a few recommendations. One is and I just got this from, I ordered this a long time ago. I'd been on back, or not back order, but what are they? It was pre-order for a long time. It's called Tarot of Traditions, Lo Scarabeo. I got introduced to this deck by Simon at Hermit's Cave, and he had a big complaint. He didn't really care for the cardstock because it was too soft. And he made a mention in there. He says, well, maybe for people who riffle or have smaller hands, they might like this. And I was like, ooh, mental note, order. So I did, and I love it. And I love that it is thinner. Yes, it might not hold up as well, but decks that I can't use hold up beautifully because I don't use them. If I have a deck that is starting to wear out, then lucky me because I'm using it. So it's really cool because it has really cool, really cool backs. It's a semi-gloss. I would call it semi-gloss. It's not glossy, but it's semi-gloss. Let me bring you down for a shuffle. Right down there. Yeah, it's just, oh, let me do that again. Hello. You can hear the shuffle. It's just, to me, it's just about ideal. And my hands are not big. It's a regular sized tarot deck compared to any other tarot. It's absolutely the normal size. Highly recommend. And that is the kind of comment that I don't show the boxes often enough. A lot of times I put the boxes away. I save all of them, but I do put them away, and so I don't always have them handy. But this one I do. It's called the Tarot of. Let me see if I can get rid of the shadow. Tarot Traditions. It's available. I got mine through Amazon. I think it's available other places. The next one I want to recommend is called the White Tarot, and here's the box. And I cannot even tell you where I heard about. Here comes a little LWB, a little white book. I cannot even tell you where I learned about this deck. I love the backs because they're kind of neon. um, Did I show you any of the cards? Oh my God! Let me go back a bit. I think I showed you any of the cards of the of the Tarot Traditions. Let me show you a few cards. Holy mackerel. I'm being remiss in my duties. I love this deck because it's colorful, very RWS, no doubt about it. But let me get this organized here. I love this deck. I don't know. I truly love this deck. I've been working with it for a week or so, and I pulled it out for Sunday Reads with Johnny and Becca and Jen Lynn. And it just jumped in my hand and said, let me talk to you. And it did. It's a beautifully well done, colorful deck. It has a lot of interesting add-ons, sometimes faces in the clouds. If you're very interested, go to Hermit's Cave, and he does a wonderful walkthrough of this deck. And I think you'll really, one of my favorite moon cards ever. It just really is it's a beautiful deck, and I can't recommend it more highly. Now, I'll be honest with you, Simon's biggest problem with this deck was the handleability. Well, let's just say that he felt the cards were thin. He felt that Low Scarabeo is going in a direction that he didn't like. But here's the deal: I think I have Low Scarabeo decks, a lot of them, old ones and new ones. This is the first time that I felt there was a change in the cardstock in terms of being thinner. And as a riffle shuffler with small hands, 2 thumbs up. For somebody not looking for that, maybe not 2 thumbs up. And I'm trying to remember, because I think there's a difference between Low Scarabeo decks that come in their tuck boxes and Low Scarabeo decks or Low Scarabeo that may show up in Llewellyn packaging or whatever. I think there's a difference in the cardstocks. And if you're looking for the thicker, more indie style, look for what they call the kits, the bigger styles with the big books. Low Scarabeo is, I think, underneath the Llewellyn umbrella. So, but I still think they're published independently. I could be totally wrong on it. But anyways, I will tell you, and Simon also had a problem with the Cersei tarot, that he felt it was too thin. And I remember getting the Cersei tarot, and I was so excited that I could shuffle it. So it really is different strokes for different folks in many ways. But anyways, but for someone who likes to riffle, who might have a little bit of smaller hand or struggle with heavier cardstock indie decks, this might be right up your alley. Okay, so back to the white tarot. This comes to the little guidebook, and it's published by it says Publishing Center Limited, Odessa, Ukraine. www.deluxe cards. Put the back up so you can see it. I'll take a screenshot. Anyways, so this deck is like okay, so first off, let me show you how it shuffles, because I was like, oh, I like this immediately. First of all, it's very similar to, of all the decks I have received or purchased. Well, I haven't received any decks. I purchased all of them in the last year. Literally, will tell you this one is the easiest shuffler of them all. It's cut perfectly. I mean, you can hear it. It's just, yeah. It's cut perfectly. No weird edges, nothing. It's just perfect. Now, if you wanted to edge this in a color, I'm not sure how well that would work, but doesn't matter. Anyways, I love this deck. So, and it's RWS completely, RWS clone. It's kind of a watercolorish kind of thing. Yes, it has borders. I imagine you could trim it down if you wanted to. Colors are vibrant. It's just, I love this deck. I if I have a lot of RWS decks. I have a lot of them. And 90% of them I cannot shuffle. And so I love it when I find an RWS that is true to the deck that I can frickin' shuffle. So there's that. There's your sneak preview of that particular deck. Here is the tuck box, and I believe that I got this through Etsy, I think. But I just Googled the white tarot. Great deck. Number 3, the Delos tarot. Now, this is interesting. It's not quite my style, specifically because it's a little bit cartoonish in some ways. Trying to get the extra cards out here. So, well, let me show you the backs. Did I show you the backs of the white? I don't think I did. Let me do that. I don't think I should. Oh, I did. Those are the backs of the whites. I don't know if I showed you the backs of the other one. being remiss in my duties. Come on. The backs of the tarot traditions. Maybe I did. I just love those backs. Aren't those great? Oh my god, beautiful. Okay, so the Delos tarot. So the backs are this. Very cute, reversible. Um, and the cards are a little bit, as I said, they're slightly cartoonish in a weird way, but not in a horrible way. If you are looking for anime, this is not that. Um, I don't know why I say cartoon. I guess I say cartoonish because if you look at this, the faces are kind of cutesy. Is that the word I'm looking for? I mean, but let's bring it down and take a look at this. For sorry. Now I will say, oh, that was a poor shuffle. Sorry, that was operator error for sure. You can hear that you can just hear it in the cards. These are very soft. But if you're looking for a deck that you can, I would say if you have, like arthritis or stiff hands, this deck is really kind of cool. It's also just a little bit smaller. Yeah. If this where you can see it, a little bit smaller than a regular tarot deck. So it's not, let me get it right. So it's just a tad thinner and definitely a tad shorter. And for tough, stiffy hands, or where does this go? Um, for stiff hands, tough hands, arthritic hands, who really want to shuffle and can live with a kind of a. I wouldn't say it's wholly cartoonish. It's just it kind of. I mean, it just has a little bit of that feel to it, but not completely. This deck is as soft as they come. Um, and if you're a heavy riffle shuffler, then I might recommend you order two because I don't think this is the cutest freaking deck ever. Oh, what is this? Oh, they send you an extra magician card. Look at this. So it's got this great tuck box with the sun on the outside and the Dallas Tarot, and then this great striped on the inside. Hello. Cute. So these decks are awesome, and I just so if you're looking for a soft shuffler, there you go. The white tarot, the tarot of traditions, and the Delos tarot. All three are just super at what they do, and they give us a little bit of a break in terms of being able to shuffle as smaller handed people or people with hands that are restricted in some way. So I just can't recommend them more highly. Here they are, all three of them. Well done. So, and then the other thing I wanted to mention is I just got a Kickstarter from, God, sorry about the hair. Oh my God. From the Kickstarter, although I'm embracing, I was going to say I'm embracing, oh, what's her name? Candy, Soul, and Soil. She did a great video a couple of videos ago about embracing your crownness. That sometimes letting your hair just do what it does is part of embracing your crownness, and I'm like, I'm totally into that. But one deck that I just got that I have to show off a little bit, and I may try to do a walkthrough or whatever because I've not seen this anywhere. Is a deck called Turning Terrestrial Tides Tarot. Here's the box, Turning Terrestrial Tides Tarot. It came with a Kickstarter of the Liberation Tarot, which I totally had forgotten that I had backed on Kickstarter, and that's what I love about that's why I continue to back things on Kickstarter, because you back them and then like months later it's like a Christmas surprise in your mailbox. But here are I'm gonna get it. No, let me get it right side up here. So here, well, let me just pull it. So here's the backs, and it says the tides are turning, and it is reversible. Beautiful green, kind of alien green uh edging, and believe it or not, as they are, I should bring the camera down and show you this. They're a little. Let me do that. They're a little stiff, and they're kind of a velvety thing, but they they do shuffle. I mean, they don't riffle well or bridge well, but it astounds me that um, with this cardstock, how well they actually do shuffle if you're intentional in how you do your shuffle. So it's very cool. And I'm bringing it back up again. Hello. And they're just, they're so curious. I love, and the guidebook is really good. I cannot recommend it more highly. But so here's like the 10 of thoughts, which is the 10 of swords. And it has a thing that says, let me get it right. This is a revolution of the mind. They have little sayings on almost all the cards. Um, and the guidebook. Let's go to the guidebook on the 10 of thoughts, which is the 10 of swords, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Um, so so 10 of thoughts. So I have to bear with me because I can't see very well. 10 of thoughts. No one ever said change and growth was easy. Oh, I'm sorry. No one said change and growth were easy. But if nothing changes, then nothing changes. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. It will be painful, confusing, and intense. We will come to know our limits and vulnerabilities. This is the end of something that just isn't working. And there's a bit of poetry in, I'm sorry, it's really tiny print. Bit of poetry in seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. Sure, we could choose to live in denial, but that's the thing about the truth. There are some things in life that once we know them, we can never not know them. So even though it may not seem like it right now, sorry, this is an opportunity. It's a chance for a rapid redirection towards something real and true. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself. And remember, you are more resilient than you know. What a great guidebook paragraph. And I'm sorry I read it so stifling, but it's very tiny print. And my glasses are not that great. I need a new prescription. Anyway, so it comes with a great little guidebook. As little as it is, it packs a punch. And I really, I haven't worked with this a ton, but I am loving this deck. I loved it the moment I pulled it out. And I wish I could tell you who it was by. The Eighth House LLC. Shop the Eighth House. So I would look, if you're gonna research it. Ter, yeah, turning terrestrial tides tarot, or the Eighth House. Shop the Eighth House. Anyways, highly recommend. Where are we at time wise? Have I just eaten up all of your life? Not much. A little bit. A little bit. Comes in a great little box. I really like this deck. I'm really looking forward to working with it. Every single, it was so interesting as I was working with the regular RWS and doing my traditional things or whatever. And then I started to pull this out, and all of a sudden, it was like, and so I went to the guidebook, and it was like all of a sudden everything started to turn a little bit, and that was really fun. So that's cool. I also want to tell you, and I'll do that in the next video about what an epiphany I had reading with Johnny, Jen, and Becca last Sunday using the Lutero Arthurian, which has Anna Tourian's incredible illustrations. And I didn't realize that she had done the um, what's her black and white deck? I'm drawing a mind blank. But anyways, I didn't realize she had done the art for that, and I love that deck. And then I love this deck, and it was like, why is this so familiar? And um, but oh my god, I love her work, and I'm so excited that I ordered the indie edition of the Tarot of Echoes. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm following her on Instagram, and if you're not, go for it because it's totally cool. Her work is just so exceptional. Oh, and Simon at Hermit's Cave, I'll link it down below, did an exceptional interview with her. Exceptional interview with her. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's amazing. I'll link it down below. Anyways, so that's where we're at. So hopefully I'll see you next Sunday around 3 o'clock. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate each and every one. Star and Flurry out.